You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Welcome back to the Stockwell Relocation Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
I'm Josh O'Shea, Remax Advantage Plus.
Relocation Nation. We're talking about moving, mobility, and companies and the relocation structure and staff and how that works. We've been very fortunate and grateful to have Doug McElrath here, who is a certified relocation professional with Remax Results, sharing his insight and 20 years of experience about that. Diane Eldridge with Remax Results is here as well, talking about her experience with that. And Maddie Bjorgum with the mortgage company.
Your mortgage guys.
Your mortgage guys is here as well. So we're talking about relocation and moving, right? And I already said I hate moving, and I'm kind of in that Gen X. Josh?
I hate it too.
Except for Hawaii.
Except for Hawaii.
Diane, your generation probably is done or doesn't want to move, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty well done with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Who wants to move or who is open to moving? Doug hit on the last segment. Millennials, because they have the energy, number one, to move, and they're probably in their growth, the career path growth phase.
Right, because the boomers are starting to phase out of the corporate life.
Yep.
And the millennials are moving into the management, jobs in those corporations.
Yep, and they're the ones. So that's why the rental market, I think, is so dramatically high, is because they're in that growth phase, so they're not quite settled in yet. So they don't know maybe if they want to move somewhere else, so they don't know. And partly because they're waiting so long to get married and whatnot.
Well, that and seeing what happened to their parents too with the mortgage crisis that took place.
So here's some predictions that they're saying for 2016, and we're waiting for. So in an upcoming segment here, right around the first part of the year, I'm going to put Josh on the spot here, but we're going to have Karnak Jr.
Awesome
back on the show.
That guy's awesome.
So he will be back here. Josh will be
does a great job.
Out that week, but Karnak will be here doing predictions. But here's some predictions. They're saying the median age of first-time home buyers will set a new record for being higher than ever for first-time home buyers. Rents will soar even more in 2016 to a highest level ever. And more low-income Americans will be priced out of home ownership. People will move back to the suburbs to find affordable housing because the cities have become so expensive and they're so back because that's where all the jobs are, transit, money, everything is. And home values are expected to grow at about 3.5%. And millennials, understanding the millennials, they say it should be pretty clear by now that millennials want to purchase homes. The habits of the young adults born between the early 80s and early 2000s and other first-time home buyers are notable departure from the Gen Xers and baby boomers, especially when it comes to housing. The most recent data shows that millennials have conservative views of home ownership, saying that they want to buy a home, but they want to make sure they do it right, just like you said, Josh. Yep. They don't want to get stuck holding the bag with something that's upside down.
Yep.
And
we
losing their ability to move, right, and be mobile.
We see a ton of it. There's an article that talks about many millennials are open to moving back into their parents' house after college because the cost of rent is so high.
It's higher than owning a house.
Yeah. Right. And a lot of them are actually looking at what did their parents do right, which was bought a house. They kind of got stuck holding the bag as you said during the crash that happened in our economy, in our mortgage world, in our real estate world, but getting back into buying a house is a way better decision, and you're seeing people not going out and trying to overextend themselves. Like I've got clients that would qualify for twice the house that they're looking to buy.
Being smart about it.
Smart.
Yep.
Which is huge.
That's key. And the other tips for you if you're think you may be relocated, want to be relocated, or you're in a position or know someone that's in relocation. Doug had a good one. Is don't jump the gun and start contacting. I mean, you can always reach out to Josh and myself. We're going to be Diane. We're going to be great.
Because you know the process.
You can always call us and let us know. But if you just start calling agents and calling everybody and saying, yeah, here we go, let's go, come over and check out my house, let's do evaluation. And then your company says, oh, and here's the company you'll be working with for relocation. So you kind of want to make sure you have that in place first. And the other thing I would say, too, is if you're in a big company, if you're in a Fortune 500 company, if you're fortunate enough to be in one in the Twin Cities here, and you're doing well, and you're on the line for promotions, and you're doing well in the company, why would you be renting right now?
Yeah.
You're in a company that offers relocation packages should you get relocated. The rates are great. You're probably making decent money.
Unless you're getting shipped off to San Francisco, where the market.
Yeah, but
so.
if you buy a house, you got a relocation package. If
You're
good
likely
enough,
to have
if
a
you're good
cheaper
enough, right?
payment.
And I was encouraged a week or so ago. I was working with some one of our large Fortune 500 companies here in the Twin Cities, and they had a group of MBA candidates in that we were taking them around the Twin Cities, showing them how great it is to live here. They all had accepted their jobs, which is great. So this is just kind of like
I see, kind of like firm it in or kind of make it. Yeah.
So I was working with these MBA candidates that were going to be renters. Okay, but some of them thought, okay, I'll probably buy within the year or something like that. Well, what I was encouraged with is this corporation, one of the relocation benefits for these renters who have never owned a house was they would pay for their closing costs if they would buy a house in the next year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I thought that
makes sense
great.
for the company. If I'm a CEO of the company or if I'm in charge of recruit or getting talent,
I want your roots in the ground here.
Exactly. That makes it so you are more committed here. And we all know home ownership leads to more stability in every part of your life. So
It used to be you're a renter until you're a homeowner. So, as long as you're a renter, you're only going to get rental benefits from your employer when you move. Yep. And these folks, this company has encouraged them to become buyers and, like I said, put down roots in the Twin Cities.
Yeah, and they're putting what kind of investment into that? Depending upon the closing costs, they can be five to 10,000. Let's say ballpark. They're going to be putting down for this employee to buy a home and become rooted now in the
Great motivation.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
That shows that the company's got a lot of stake vested in these people too. Like, hey, we're moving you here. We want you here. We want you to. We want you to. We want you to be part of the community. We want you. We want you to not think about whether or not you're
negotiating power too.
Or maybe I was talking to one of the finance people that was being recruited or was taking the job here, and they were saying they're going to buy a house, and then they're going to have a couple people move in with them and rent from that person. So it's like rent free practically.
That's what got me. I will go. We don't have time for a full story of my history, but thank God. But that's what got me into real estate. Is I wanted to buy a house, and then I had college friends that were renting rooms, and that's the only way that I was able to get into real estate. Right. It was such a tough transition going from a paycheck world to a self-employment world, where it's full commission, and it took about 6 months where there was not a dollar, not a penny coming in for income. And I fortunately had my friends, and I don't know if you guys are listening, probably not, you don't, but my buddies who were living with me covering the payment at least so I could at least keep the house. I would have never been able to do it had I not had them doing that because I truly had no very minimal mortgage payment at that point. So it's a wonderful, smart way to do it for them if the MBA or the finance people are thinking. And that tells me they're smart. They're thinking finance, right?
Yeah, there's a finance major, and he's like, I got it all figured out.
There you go.
Someone else is going to pay my mortgage.
OPM, other people's money.
And that's what we talk about too. Is rent on our shows about rentals. Is if you're afraid to get into a rental property or buy a rental property or buy an investment property, yes, you want to make sure you do it right, but take that step, folks. We're coming into 2016. We've got really, really good, positive things going on all around us in the Twin Cities in housing and in jobs and companies.
Investments.
Yes, and investments. Take action. Make a move. Do something that will benefit you, your family in the future to make your life more secure and more stable and more profitable for everything all the way around. And frees up time. I mean, there's just so many things we could go on and on and on and on, and I already am, so I'm cutting myself off. So Relocation Nation, if you have any questions about relocation or any real estate related questions, please call 651-400-0773, 651-400-0773. Josh, myself, Diane, Doug, Maddie B, all of us, any of us will be able to help you, and we will get back to you. You can go to tcrealestatehour.com or find us on Facebook under the Stockwell Roche Show. Type in Stockwell, Stockwell, and you'll find it. Happy holidays, everyone. Thanks, Maddie B. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Doug McElrath, thank you.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks.
Diane Eldridge, thanks so much for being back.
A lot of fun.
Have a great week. Yes, thanks, Barry White. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Okay.
Remember, love yourself and love others. Have a great week and a Merry Christmas.